I first heard this story about Northey Street from a woman who is the current president of the Ballina Community Garden, and I was living in the Northern Rivers. I'd been living in Mullumbimby for a very long time, and I briefly moved for 3 years to Ballina for the sake of my children for their high school. But while I was there, I joined the Ballina Community Garden, and the president, Margie, just raved about this wonderful place called Northey Street City Farm and how amazing it was as a community garden, and there were just trees everywhere and fruiting trees, and you could learn so much, and how much she loved it. Anyway, long story short, life called me to Brisbane for various reasons, and I found myself really loving it. I went to the markets and I checked it out and thought, wow, this feels like home, especially having lived in Mullumbimby for nearly 20 years. It really felt like a second home, and I felt I can be really happy in Brisbane if I've got this that I can go and be in, let alone to actually meet the people who are a part of this. So I got along to an induction day, and pretty soon I started volunteering. But at the time I had a chronic condition which I'm just recovering from, which made it very difficult to apply for a proper job, and so I was basically doing the senior version of work for the dole, in the sense that if you're over 55 and you can't get a job, instead of having to report lots and lots of jobs, you can just do voluntary work for 15 hours a week. And most people do that in an op shop or something, but you can actually do it at Northey Street, which I highly recommend, especially if you love gardening, So in the crazy COVID period when the toilet paper wars were on, and people were grabbing at things and there were things missing from the shelves, I became really passionate about growing food, and it seems like a very sensible thing to learn, and you really only learn by doing as well as studying, but you need to really learn by doing. So this is an amazing place to do that. Not long after I started volunteering, I applied for a job as an educator, and sometimes I do the farm tours with children, and sometimes do them with adults, and that's really fun because I had to learn a lot about the farm in order to give a tour about the farm. And being a storyteller, I really love that. What I love is the ethics. I love the sense of welcome, that there are chairs and tables everywhere that people can sit in, and they're welcome to sit there, and no one's looking at their watch or standing over them going, have you ordered food yet? Even at the cafe, where it's actually a money-making concern, you might feel, understandably you should move on from there so that paying customers can come and eat there, but there's no shortage of other places to be. Tables and chairs in gorgeous locations under trees, just like the one that I'm sitting at now, just provided for free, and you don't have to do anything for it. You can just be here, and that's sorely needed in our culture, and that's a beautiful thing to come to. But the other thing, apart from the community and the lovely people that I really enjoy, is having a sense of community and purpose, is the learning, just exponential learning. I have learned so much. Through Northey Street, I've come in contact with so many other things as well. And it's also meant that I've actually scored a one-day-a-week job in a school teaching the kids, because I have teaching qualifications. I could never have imagined even applying for a job like that, even before I came to Northey Street, because the learning has been so exponential, to learn so much more about permaculture plants, about teaching through Earth Kids, being around Earth Kids, and I now have this amazing understanding and experience of all these games and all these ways of making nature interesting to children, and understanding what little children can grasp at that level. Brings to mind a quote by Wendell Berry. I think it was Wendell Berry who said, "Vital people vitalise," and that's really true for me. And as we stare down the barrel at some really scary climate change impacts coming our way and intensifying, it can be, as a sensitive sort of person following climate science, it can be daunting knowing what to do and feeling a little bit like a stunned rabbit in the headlights sometimes. But when I come to Northey Street, I can jump into the stream of impetus and light here that's happening, that is working towards a better world, and I trust in that process, and I can be a part of that. I can help with it, and I can also contribute ideas to it. So I've now joined the management committee as well.